In one's personal effects, you will find that there is always a book that they're holding on to, no matter how old it is. It could either be a rare find, a first edition, or something valuable gifted by a special someone. I, personally, still love collecting books, despite the fact that we're now living in the digital age or the Kindle age, and that all information is available online, thanks to Google. But for some of us, books are a precious commodity. And protecting these assets is highly imperative. So join me in another sewing endeavor featuring my all-time favorite, for now, the brother NV180, in creating this lovely embroidered book cover that will surely add more value to your books. Side note, plastic covers are so overrated and outdated. And also, this can be used for journals if you want to have your own personalized journal cover. And they're great as gifts to your friends or your family members. So, let's begin this sewing adventure by gathering and getting into the materials that we're going to need for this project. This project requires half a yard of main fabric. Any scrap of plain fabric will also work. We will need some fusible interfacing. The interfacing has a wrong and right side. The wrong side is rough due to the glue bubbles that will help adhere to the fabric when heated. We will need some embroidery threads, a heat erasable marking pen, a clipper, a pair of scissors, an embroidery needle, measuring tape for measuring the dimensions of the book, the embroidery hoop and sheet, the free motion or embroidery foot or presser foot cue, a long ruler, and the book that we will use to create the book cover. Also, we will need a pressing mat and an iron. So this project takes about a good 4 to 5 hours, depending on the amount of embroidery design that you're going to put into the cover. And there is no rule as to which embroidery design you want to use. The brother NV180 has a couple of built-in embroidery designs you can use. But if you have your own designs, the NV180 has a USB reader that gives you the freedom to be more creative and use your own embroidery patterns. This is why it's my current favorite. It's a sewing, a quilting, and embroidery machine. Also, I will be able to show you that you can embroider not just your bath towels or your garments, but you can embroider pretty much any fabric. To get started, it is important to get the accurate dimensions or measurements of the book. The book I have here is measured 21 inches in width and 9.5 inches in height when fully opened. Taking this into account, the fabric is then cut bigger than the dimensions of the book. I decided to cut out a 20 by 25 inches rectangle to ensure that it can easily be put into the embroidery hoop. The interfacing is then cut the same measurements as the main fabric. Once done, the interfacing is fused to the wrong side of the fabric using an iron. The next step is to draw the dimensions of the book cover onto the fabric using a fabric marker. This marker is heat erasable, so no lines will be visible as soon as the project is completed. At this stage, ironing or pressing cannot be done. So friends, here is where we're at so far. I have managed to create the layout of the book cover. So basically it doesn't really look like a book cover right now, but once it's finished, it will definitely look like a book cover, you'll see. So we have sections over here. This is basically the front of the book cover. This one here in the middle is the spine. This is the back cover. And these two extensions over here are they're measured 4 inches, and they're basically going to be folded right into the inside of the book. So our next goal is to actually find the center of the front cover, and we can start laying out where we want all the embroidery designs to fall on, which is going to be really exciting. In the meantime, I'm going to do that, and then we will go to the embroidery machine, the Brother NV180, and we'll start embroidering. First, we will be working on the front cover by marking the center point on the upper portion of the book. This is done using a marker. The main goal here is to make sure that the embroidery designs fall within the drawn lines. The grid sheet is helpful in ensuring that the design is properly centered. Since I am creating a cover for a book, I preferred embroidering the main title of the book. Embroidering on the Brother NV180 is super quick and easy. The machine will walk you through in every step of the embroidering process. You can adjust or resize or even move your embroidery design based on the look you're trying to achieve. It also tells you how many minutes an embroidery design takes to complete. Once the main title is embroidered, I then proceeded in adding more designs. The goal is to be creative as much as possible, and the most important thing is to enjoy the process. The dimensions that I have drawn onto the fabric is really helpful as it guides me where to position the embroidery designs. I have embroidered some flowers, some laurel leaves, I think, some birds. Oh, and the author of the book, because after all, it's a book. I have chosen to make it simple at the back by embroidering on both top and bottom corners, as well as the main title of the book in the center. Once the embroidery is done, the fabric is then cut to the actual dimensions of the book cover. The edges are finished with a decorative stitch, or in my case, an overcasting stitch. Then the fabric is folded and pressed along both edges. This will serve as that piece that keeps the cover in place by tucking it inside the book. And voila! We have a book cover that can now protect my book. This project is something I am looking forward to. Though it might not protect your book from liquid damage as plastic covers do, they still serve the same purpose, and it adds a more creative vibe to your books. This project took me a good 4 hours, but it's definitely worth it. You can also use this on your personal journals or even your kids' school books. And I'm pretty sure they will love it as much as you do. And I hope that you enjoyed today's quick and simple project. It's Julius here with you, and I will see you in another sewing video.